How do you master this game, the game of life? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Wanda Vitale, and I'm the founder of the Empowered Empaths. And I am here to remind you that you're here for a reason and that your feeling nature is exactly what the world needs. It needs compassion and kindness, and that our ability to feel opens up new worlds when we use our imagination. So, how do we really master the game? The first step is understanding that there's just no out there. John Wheeler was the father of quantum mechanics. What is reality? What are we seeing when we're looking at, say, my microphone or a tree? What is that actually? Well, we need to understand that we're just a point of consciousness in a sea of subatomic particles that we really can't measure yet. Light, we're living in a sea of light, in a field of light, and it's vibrating. And on its own, it has no meaning. But through the apparatus in our brains that receive this light, we translate it into things. Seth, that Jane Roberts channeled in the 60s and 70s, said that we agreed on certain things, that up is up and down is down. We agreed that the past would seem solid and the future wouldn't. But in fact, everything is just a memory. The past is a memory and the future is a memory because creation is done and it's already finished. When we understand that everything that we're looking at is just a translation based on what we believe, we can start to question everything. We can look at a mountain and say, aren't I amazing? This is all me. This is all my energy. And I'm translating it so that it seems that it's separate, but it's all me. We can look at a situation in our lives that perhaps we don't prefer and say the same thing. Well, this is interesting. What is this telling me about a belief that I have? We free ourselves when we understand there's just no out there, as John Wheeler said. There's no out there to fix. Everything is just us. It's a reflection, it's a mirror. And if we want the mirror to change, we change. This is when, as empaths, we get to look at the stories we're telling ourselves about what things mean. Because on their own, they mean nothing. We get to look at how we're translating everything. We get to look at whether we're making something bad or good. We get to look at the stories we tell ourselves. Particles of energy phase in and out of form billions of times per second. And our stories are these wonderful vehicles that give it consistency so that we're not experiencing amnesia billions of times per second as these particles vibrate in and out of form. Think particles and waves collapsing, right? So we have these stories. And right about now, many of you are looking at your stories that are coming up. You're looking at, I don't have enough money, or my relationship isn't what I want, or I'm not getting enough love, or my partner's not doing the things that I want him to do, even though I know he loves me. So I'm just feeling bad. Or my bank account is low. I don't have enough clients, or my health is bad. Lots of people are blaming their health on something out there. And I understand it's part of awakening. It's part of coming out of this idea that we are separate blobs of flesh and controlled by circumstances or medicines or anything. It's part of this bigger shift in us reclaiming our power as part of the age of Aquarius. And what I want you to understand is it's all you. It's all you. You're standing in front of a mirror And the mirror reflects what you believe. It reflects the stories you tell yourself. It reflects what you're saying constantly. Many people are trying to change their lives thinking that the mirror will change. But when you understand it's all you and you have complete control over what you believe, because beliefs are thoughts you keep thinking, you're free. You're out of the matrix. You're out of the simulation. And then it gets really fun. I used to believe that I had to work a lot of hours. I used to believe in struggle because it's what I picked up from my family. You might have picked up, I'm not enough. There's about 10 common beliefs that we all have. I call them your welcome to being human beliefs. I'm not enough. I'm unworthy. I'm powerless. I don't always get what I want. I can't do anything right. Beliefs about betrayal and abandonment. And they're all decisions that we made about life when we were little, up until we were about 7 years old. We just looked at things and said, well, this is how it is here. This is how it must be. And then we never question them. And then we blame the outside world for making us feel things. But if you really want to be free, it's understanding you're telling yourself a story. You're believing some story that you decided was true. And it's just a story. One of my clients just said that her body fat is down to 15%. She's eating anything she wants. What's the difference? She knows she is a field of energy, and she knows that she's always directing particles of energy to take shape according to her story. So what does she say? I can eat anything I want. Wow, I'm so happy that my body fat is 15%. I get to eat everything. She's also the one that understands that she's always pulling rabbits out of hats. We all are, because that's the nature of reality. You think it's solid. You think there's an out there, but there isn't. You're always telling particles of energy how to show up. And they can show up like new clients. They can show up like the job that you love. They can show up any way that you want, or they can show up as illness, as not enough money, as not being lovable. It's all based on a story. And that's really what I want you to know today. What story are you telling yourself? What story? Are you questioning it? Is it true? And more importantly, do you want it to be true? How are you telling those particles of creation to take form? Because you can change it. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Because there's no out there or physical world to change. None of it's physical. It just seems that way when we rely on our 5 physical senses. But you are so much more. You are the wizard who's forgotten your magic. So just today, tell a new story. Look for proof. Look for proof. If it's abundance that you want, look for proof that abundance is everywhere. You'll find it. Your mind will go look for it. We have hypnotized ourselves into believing that we are limited in some way. We have hypnotized ourselves to believe that our bodies can't heal. We have hypnotized ourselves to believe that some things aren't possible. But I can assure you from my own life and from working with my clients that it's all possible. And that right now, it's time for a new story. It's time for a new story based on possibility, compassion, kindness, love. It's time to stop believing in limitation. And if you're not doing it already, it's time to stop believing there's an out there, and that it's all you. And that the mirror changes when you do, and that life can be easy and fun. And that's why you're here, to model a new way of being. Thanks again for listening. You can find more about the Empowered Empaths on my website, and stay tuned for a new offering that I have coming up on Life by Design. Life is just waiting for you. Your life, a life beyond your wildest dreams, is just waiting for you to break through, to start telling a new story.